Welcome to the Debrief. So each week, we're simply going to highlight and really just break down the performances that we've seen across the entire country in the NCAA, and specifically in the sprints, jumps, and the hurdles. So let's dive right into it. First off, on the women's side, Talitha Diggs from Florida. Now, Diggs is the 2022 indoor and outdoor champion at the 400-meter dash. But this weekend, we saw her at the Clemson Invite running the 60-meter dash and the 300-meter dash, and in those races, she ran 7.14 and 36.12 seconds respectively. Now, that 300-meter time makes Diggs the 10th fastest woman in the history of the event, world history. Actually, she equaled Sydney McLaughlin's time back in 2018. But the 60-meter dash time, I personally think, is a much bigger deal. This really shows her versatility, her range, and of course her speed at the shorter distance. And we should very well know that a 400-meter runner with fast short sprint speed is very, very dangerous. Now, that time in the 60 would have ranked her 7th in the NCAA last year. So could we see Diggs pull off a 60-400 double, maybe a 60-200-400 triple? Who knows, but definitely an amazing performance from her. Speaking on the 60-meter dash, down in Texas, we saw Rosemary Chukwuma, who competes for Texas Tech. She actually ran a personal best of 7.11 seconds. Now, not only was that a personal best, but it also moved her to number 14 all time in the NCAA. And even more importantly, this makes her the 6th fastest Nigerian woman in the history of the 60-meter dash. Huge performance. This is really not something to just gloss over. And Chukwuma, coming off of 4th place at the Commonwealth Games in the 100-meter dash, will be very, very dangerous this year. Also, shout out to Kaila Jackson of Georgia, who ran 7.18 seconds in the 60 meters, just behind Diggs at Clemson. Still talking 60 meters, but this time in the hurdles, there is no escaping Masai Russell of Kentucky. What she did this weekend was run 7.88 seconds in the 60-meter hurdles. Not only a personal best, not only an NCAA lead, but that also moved her to number 10 all time in NCAA history. Please do not play with Russell this year. She is coming off 2 top 4 finishes from NCAA outdoors last year, and in her final year in Kentucky, she might just take the whole thing indoors in the 60-meter hurdles if we are not careful. But with that, don't sleep on her competition, right? Aaliyah Armstrong, Grace Stark, Akira Nugent, Paula Salmon, and maybe even Demisha Roswell from Texas Tech, who also broke 8 seconds this weekend, running 7.99 in the hurdles. Into the field, one performance I want to highlight is from Jasmine Moore from Florida. Already, the first weekend of the year, she jumped 14.44 meters in the triple jump. Already, the first meet in January. Just in case you need some context, 14.44 meters is the 4th farthest jump in NCAA history. Now, of course, she already owns the NCAA record, but this is insane. She also had ancillary jumps, which are the jumps in the same competition, of 14.43 meters and 14.32 meters, which are the 5th and 8th farthest jumps in history as well. Check out the video I did just a couple weeks back about how Jasmine Moore will very likely dominate the NCAA season this year, and she is clearly already on the path to do so. All I'm saying is make sure that you wake up, because you do not want to sleep on Jasmine Moore. Also, don't worry, we all saw Britton break her NCAA record in the 600 meters, but look out for a more in-depth video on her later on this week. Next up on the men's side, in the 60-meter dash, we have Ismael Kone of Florida, and he dropped a 6.51 personal best at Clemson. This was a huge performance, as it now makes him number 13 all time in NCAA history. I'm actually going to do a full video on Kone and why this performance was so significant, as remember, he represents Cote d'Ivoire internationally, so definitely look out for that this week. But stepping things up to the 300-meter dash, everyone is of course talking about Matthew Boling. Also at Clemson, Boling ran 32.40 seconds in the 300 meters, which is not only a personal best, but it also makes him number 3 in the NCAA all time. But let's not get too excited and just simply anoint him as the NCAA champion just yet. Down in Arkansas, we saw James Benson II and Lance Lang also run the 300 and had a photo finish of 32.46 to 32.48 seconds respectively. That put Benson at number 4 all time, as well as Lang at number 5 all time in NCAA history. So Boling definitely has a lot of company, and all 3 of these guys, they opened up very well, so I'm sure there will be a lot more quality from them all throughout the 2023 indoor season. Finally, one of my favorite performances that we saw this weekend was Jeremiah Davis of Florida State in the long jump at Clemson. He's already the NCAA runner-up from the Outdoor Championships in 2022. Davis just jumped a personal best of 8.17 meters in the long jump. That breaks him into the top 25 all time, sitting at number 23 in NCAA history. And it's also a mark that not only would have won NCAA Outdoors, but also would have won NCAA Indoors in 2022. Just like Jasmine Moore, do not sleep on Davis of Florida State, as he could very well come through and win his first NCAA title this year. So those are just some of the highlights from this weekend, and it's absolutely impossible for me to have gotten every single result. So I need you to go in the comments below and just let me know some of the results that I missed and what were some of your highlights from this weekend in NCAA track and field. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and be back again next time. Thanks for watching.